So, fun fact, I had a script written out for this video, but after the podcast with Call Me Ari, many good points were brought up. So I looked at the original script and thought, this needs some improvement. So I rewrote this entire video script in 2 hours at the tail end of one of my closing shifts at work. So please bear with me, and here we go. Hey y'all, welcome to The Anime is Correct, where we give you a show you might like. Audience at home, let me ask you, do you like Hello Kitty? Of course you do. Well, from Netflix and Sanrio comes Aggretsuko, a show about a red panda office worker that doesn't pull its punches with deeper meanings of life and serious moments. No? You don't want that? Well, too bad. You're getting it anyway. This is Aggretsuko! I mentioned this show briefly a while back, but it's been a while and I feel like I haven't done enough justice to it when I did. And plus, like I said after the Call Me Ari podcast, I want to address a couple of points I forgot to mention before. So I'm sure a lot of you, if not almost all of you, have seen this show by now, both seasons, and the Christmas special. But for those who haven't, yes, this is a show that's basically a combo platter of Sanrio and Netflix. Also, through researching Hello Kitty, I found out that she has a boyfriend named Dear Daniel. So, yeah, the more you know. Anyway, Aggretsuko, or Aggressive Retsuko, focuses on the eponymous Retsuko, a 25-year-old accounting worker as she faces a slew of challenges both in and out of her job. That doesn't sound too terribly interesting on paper, and I too wrote this show off as another slice of life show, or maybe The Office, but in Japan. But then this caught my eye. I'm interested now. What really impressed me about this show was kind of twofold. First, the show handles the themes of life and its difficulties just as seriously as it shows the good moments and even funny side skits. It doesn't pull punches either way, thus the pace doesn't ever feel sluggish or tiresome because of this balance. Secondly, it was really how the show was character driven. The entire cast is equally important rather than just being, one-off characters or support only for Retsuko. Each one has their own life that, while not shown in as much detail, is never really implied to be shallow or unimportant. I got invested in these people, especially Washimi and Haida, and the way all of the arcs eventually overlap at times is a mark of great writing. However, I'm more interested in the arc that should end with Retsuko and Haida getting together. Come on, y'all, I know you're holding on us, just do it already. Why is the third page blank? I only printed 2 D&D handbooks? Sorry. Mind you, while there are a good amount of funny skits and jokes, the bigger picture story can be a bit of a slow burn. But give it time because it's all worth it when all the events of one season tend to be wrapped up in the last 2 episodes at most. I think it's a great way to bookend each season separately. And thinking of what Call Me Ari said, I like how each person is shown living their own life, doing their own thing. And the show never paints it as necessarily a bad action. It leaves the viewer to make their own impression, even if the character's actions are not always in the best interest. Like Tone, Retsuko's boss, who's super hard on her at first, but you later see that he knows he's a jerk, but wants Retsuko and thus his workers to stand up for what they really are inside, to be tough workers. His actions are what I would call neutral evil, I guess. Sonoda, the office cute girl, acts like a ditz to lighten her workload, but really she knows it. She's self-aware and doesn't seem to be quite proud of it either. I mean, you know she is, but in some ways she's forgivable, I guess. Not the worst thing you can see in an office, right? Retsuko makes her fair share of, what I would call questionable decisions, and it makes for an interesting case study kind of show. All the stories at hand are punctuated by moments in the karaoke booth where Retsuko goes full-on kiss mode, screaming death metal into her personal microphone about the events at hand that are just important to, mention, that are important to reprise. These moments are also featured in the intro and reinforce the fact that the characters are deeper than they appear, and also serving as sort of checkpoints for the plot. However, Retsuko does not wish to show this metal side to anyone in case they figure out that maybe she's more intense than she appears, but 2 people do eventually find out: Washimi, the secretary, Bird, and Gori-la, the director of marketing. These 2, despite being much higher in the department ranks of her job, they become her best friends throughout the course of the show. In the end, all the characters end up relating to the baseline of life being a challenge, and often not as fantastic as planned. Especially in the Christmas episode. Actually, that's a major theme I took away from the show personally. All these characters share a looming dread, I guess, of life that's almost never stated out loud. You get a sense of uncertainty at points in the show, moments that address the bigger picture, like Retsuko's friend, quiet moments in the office with Haida or Feniko, and practically all of, or at least half of Season 2. This Cthulhu-esque presence that looms over everyone, this doubt is not masked and even emphasized to make this show almost painfully relatable. That is a very welcome hashtag mood in a show and strangely refreshing. I am reading too much into this. Side note, I like the fact you don't need to know a lot about Japan to appreciate the setting. There's only a few moments in the show that are exclusively Japanese, such as karaoke booths, a family day festival, the local foods they eat, but the rest of the show can take place in really any general city. Anyway, I don't wish to talk or spoil too much, at least in regards to the show, but Season 2, I love how in Season 2, the show focuses much more on the characters' lives, and not that Season 1 is bad. Season 1 is a great job in introducing us to everyone in the show, bouncing different events, and kind of giving a better idea of the cast at hand. Season 2 is when they really narrow down and really use these characters' lives to show the deeper meanings of things and to really show the viewer lessons. Especially with Aggretsuko meeting a sort of mirror of herself. Seriously, just watch it. I love Tadano. My heart goes out to you. I'm sorry, but I mean, you tried, buddy. I didn't mention this in the actual recording I just did, but can I mention that Kabai became one of my favorite characters in the show and went at 180 from annoying office chatterbox to one of the best Mothers of the Year character I've ever seen in any anime. Also, too, that Retsuko's theme, one of the themes for Retsuko's entire seasons, is marriage, and she wants to get married to leave her office job. And that's her main goal for most of the season, but later on, while she doesn't let that go, which is a good thing, she has a goal still, she realizes that it's more than just meeting a rich man, it's more like what she wants in a marriage, not just because, oh, it's a way out. It's not just that. So I think, at least to me, she realizes that, yes, I want to marry, but at the same time, it's not just because I want to escape now, it's because I actually want it. Which is really cool in the show and is really cool for a character arc. So, sorry, just wanted to mention that. Back to me talking about the other stuff. Bye. This show presents a fun case study of the fictional character who portrays a lot of what we can relate to in our own lives. It certainly helped me to appreciate my own job and small things that I do each day. Maybe added a touch of optimism at least. Hopefully it did for you too. If you got Netflix, go watch it. It's a great show, and you'll just want to watch it one after another. It doesn't really feel like long episodes either. They're about 15 minutes long each. Also love Death and Robots, but that is a whole different can of worms, and if I ever talk about that show, you can probably find better talks online, but that show is, whew, that's a doozy. But definitely worth watching. Anyway, back to Aggretsuko. For Aggretsuko, if I may borrow the Anime Misfit rating system here, I would give the show a try it rating, if not a buy it one, and a rating of E for everyone. I'll leave you with the impression I got from the show. Even if your job sucks and life may be hard, keep fighting for small victories while working on the bigger picture. We will get there one day. It isn't always hopeless, so long as we don't give up. Also, stay angry, because sometimes you have to.